Hello and welcome. My name is Jennifer Valdivia Espino. I'm the Student and Fellow Program Manager for the Autism and Neuroscience Division here at the Simons Foundation. I want to welcome you to the informational webinar about the Fellows to Faculty Award. We are excited to share and tell you more about our scientific mission and the award. So with us today are team members Alyssa Pacchini-Schaefer, Jennifer Foss-Feig, Allegra Thomas, and I'm just gonna ask them to give a brief intro now. So Alyssa, can you go first?
Sure, yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Alyssa Pacchini-Schaefer. I am the Vice President and Senior Scientist for the Neuroscience collaborations in the Autism and Neuroscience Division. So I oversee three of our neuroscience collaborations, the Simons collaboration on the global brain, the Simons collaboration on plasticity in the aging brain, the newest one, the Simons collaboration on ecological neuroscience, and helping to develop more and figure out what our next areas that we are going to focus on in neuroscience.
Great. Jen, can you give an intro?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Jen Foss-Feig. I'm Vice President and Senior Scientific Officer with SFARI, the Simons Foundation Autism Research Initiative. We'll talk more about what SFARI supports, but the basic science of autism. Pleasure to be here and to see you all here today.
And Allegra, I know you're the Simons Zoom account you see here as technical support. First, I want to direct your attention to some key information. The Fellows to Faculty Award supports talented early career scientists by facilitating their transition to tenure-track faculty positions. This request for applications is intended for PhD and/or MD holding scientists who are currently in mentored research training positions and who intend to seek tenure-track faculty positions in the upcoming job cycle. Applicants must have a scientific vision for their future independent laboratory that advances the mission of the Simons Foundation Autism Research Initiative or the Simons collaboration on plasticity in the aging brain. The request for applications website provides a thorough overview of the program and instructions how to apply, as well as many frequently asked questions. So you can navigate to the request for applications using that QR code or the link in the chat. For this webinar, we really want to tell you more about the foundation itself and the science that we support, and really get an opportunity to talk about those scientific mission areas and the grant-making programs that are offering the award this year. So I'm going to pass the mic now to Alyssa Pacchini-Schaefer to tell you more about the Simons Foundation.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Jen. So what is the Simons Foundation? The Simons Foundation was founded in 1994 by Jim and Marilyn Simons, whom you can see in the picture on the screen. And Jim and Marilyn Jim was and Marilyn is really champions of basic science. They really believed in asking big questions and providing sustained support to researchers working to unravel the mysteries of the universe. And because of that, the foundation has the mission of advancing the frontiers of research in mathematics and the basic sciences. And we do this through grant making, in-house research, and public engagement. Next slide, Allegra. We have both an intramural program, the in-house research, and an extramural program, sort of outward granting facing programs at the Simons Foundation. So the in-house program is called the Flatiron Institute, and it consists of 5 centers that each have a different scientific focus. And then all those centers are supported by the Scientific Computing Core. So the Center for Computational Astrophysics, Biology, Mathematics, Neuroscience, and Quantum Physics. Then on the extramural or grant-making side of our house, we have 4 divisions. Autism and Neuroscience, which is currently where the Fellows to Faculty program we're talking about sits. But we also fund a wide range of basic science across math and physical science, life sciences, mostly focused on ecology and evolutionary biology now, and our Science, Society, and Culture program really helps people interact with science in their everyday lives. Next slide. So, autism and neuroscience within the Simons Foundation. There are a bunch of places where autism and neuroscience has its focus. Within our grant-making programs, again, the Autism and Neuroscience Division houses the Neuroscience Collaborations and the Simons Foundation Autism Research Initiative, or SFARI. And across both of those sets of programs, our informatics team really helps us and supports us thinking about data, open science, data sharing, how to have the projects and the data that we have funded really get out into the world and be utilized by many researchers. Within our Science, Society, and Culture division, The Transmitter is an editorially independent publication that focuses on reporting on neuroscience. And there is also a special section of the Transmitter called Spectrum that is focused on autism science. And then within the Flatiron Institute, our in-house computational research institute, the Center for Computational Neuroscience and the Center for Computational Biology also has aspects of autism and neuroscience research. Next slide. Again, this is just showing an overview of the Autism and Neuroscience Division, SFARI and the Neuroscience Collaborations and their different missions. SFARI advances the basic science of autism and related neurodevelopmental disorders. The Neuroscience Collaborations support and convene scientists to address fundamental questions about brain function. And Informatics operationalizes our commitment to open science. And the early career programs where the Fellows to Faculty program sits are really across the SFARI and neuroscience collaborations. Next slide. With that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Jen Foss-Feig to give you more details about SFARI.
Okay. So we've already said that the mission of SFARI is to advance the basic science of autism and related neurodevelopmental disorders. We do that in several ways. We fund research, can be individual or collaborative or early career or institutional grants related to understanding the basic science with regards to phenotype, genetics, neuroscience, all related to autism. We also promote collaboration and open science. So we are always excited to bring new minds into the autism research field. We bring people together for meetings and for workshops. And we develop data, tools, and resources that accelerate discovery. And I'll talk a little bit about some of the cohorts that we support in a little bit, but we also have animal models that we distribute as well. Next slide. Okay. In thinking about the basic science mission of SFARI, we view basic science as really foundational research aimed at elucidating the underlying mechanisms of behavior and biology related to autism. Basic science that SFARI supports includes studies in human populations, so people with autism, as well as in other experimental systems, be they cells or animals. It can include research across multiple levels of analysis, genetic, neural circuits, cognition, behavior. But really, we think that sort of improving the basic science understanding of autism will be foundational for building translational and clinical research with other funders and in the years to come. And I wanted to spend a little bit of time on some of the data and resources that we collect, because we see those as really a bridge from basic science through to more clinical and applied research. Next slide. So over the years, SFARI has supported several cohorts of individuals with autism and related neurodevelopmental disorders. And this is really to promote open science. So SFARI has supported the building of the cohort and the generation of data, and then makes those data available to researchers worldwide. The original cohort was the Simon Simplex Complex collection, which included individuals with autism spectrum disorder diagnoses and their family members, and is a collection of sort of deep in-person phenotyping measures alongside genetic data. The Spark is sort of the cohort that followed that. I'm jumping around a little bit on this slide, which is also what we call a phenotype first cohort. So everyone in the Spark cohort has an autism diagnosis. Their family members are also included, and we have questionnaire-based phenotypic measures, as well as some in-person measures and genetic data as well. Simon's Searchlight is sort of a sister project to Spark, and this is a genes first cohort. So everyone in Simon's Searchlight has a genetic diagnosis that's been associated with autism, though they themselves may or may not have autism, and we have deep phenotyping data as well as information about their genetics and the impacted variant. And finally, the Autism Inpatient Collection is a cohort of individuals with autism who are hospitalized at one of 6 inpatient child psychiatry units for folks with autism. So these are individuals, many of whom might meet criteria for profound autism these days and have a more significant behavioral phenotype. And again, we have phenotyping and genetic data publicly available. So these are resources that we make available to the research community to really facilitate the science and move the basic science forward to the translational and the clinical. Okay. Melissa, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Jen. Now I'm just going to give you an overview of the scientific topic areas where our neuroscience collaborations focus. I'm going to talk about 3 of them, but this year for the Fellows to Faculty program, only the Simons collaboration on plasticity in the aging brain is accepting applications. The global brain has sunsetted and is no longer accepting new Fellows to Faculty applicants, and you'll see the newest neuroscience collaboration will be accepting applications in the years to come, but not this year. So again, only the Simons collaboration on plasticity in the aging brain out of the neuroscience collaboration is accepting Fellows to Faculty applications this year. However, the neuroscience collaborations, as I said previously, support and convene scientists to address fundamental questions about brain function. And importantly, they are interdisciplinary. They are focused on bringing together diverse perspectives and approaches to really change the conversation in a field and have these sort of diverse fields influencing each other. And they are 10 years in duration. So our first neuroscience collaboration was the Simons collaboration on the global brain. And its goal was to expand the understanding of the role of internal brain processes in the arc from sensation to action, in order to discover the nature, role, and mechanisms of the neural activity that produces cognition. And this was really focused on sort of the single cell level and population dynamics of single cells. The Simons collaboration on plasticity in the aging brain, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail and focus on that in just a minute, but I wanted to mention our newest neuroscience collaboration. Allegra, you can go to the next slide. You can click one more time. The Simons collaboration on ecological neuroscience. The Simons collaboration on ecological neuroscience just launched in July 2025. And the ideas and concepts behind it really came out of the lineage of ecological psychology, which is focused on understanding how your brain encodes the world. And it's this idea of affordances, that one of the things it may encode are things that you can interact with in your environment. And so there's a lot more information about this on our website, and we will be giving out information about this in the future as we solicit Fellows to Faculty applications for this. Again, not this year in Global Brain and SCENE, but only in Plasticity in the Aging Brain, which Allegra, you can go on. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about. So the Simons collaboration on plasticity in the aging brain has the mission to discover the mechanisms of resilience and functional maintenance in the aging brain, and to establish a baseline for plasticity-related changes with age across many model systems. You know, our focus in the SCPAB is the basic biology of cognitive aging in the brain. And again, like SFARI's focus on the basic science underlying autism, we view this as foundational to future translational approaches aimed at minimizing cognitive decline and extending the healthy lifespan, but we are really focused on the basic biology of cognitive aging. This collaboration is divided up into 9 project teams that all have different sub-focuses. One focuses on conserved gene regulatory pathways, one focuses on sex differences in aging, another on blood form factors that change with age, another on sort of the systems level of decision making, glial mechanisms and sleep in aging, and even how lipids change across aging in the brain. And one of the strengths of this project is the diversity of model systems that are employed from humans all the way through worms in order to sort of look at potentially conserved mechanisms across these animals that can help us understand cognitive aging over the lifespan. And with that, I think I turn it back over to Jen Valdivia-Espino to give you more information about the Fellows to Faculty Award.
Exactly. Thank you. So yes, so this award supports talented early career scientists by facilitating their transition to tenure-track faculty positions. And it's offered for these 2 programs. What we're really doing is offering this program to nurture new talent in the basic sciences and to broaden the community of scientists who contribute to these missions. We drive innovation and collaboration by supporting scientists with a diverse mix of minds, backgrounds, and experiences. So we're seeking proposals, again, from senior postdoctoral researchers or equivalent researchers with a scientific vision for their future lab that advances the mission areas that you just heard about for SFARI and for the Plasticity and the Aging Brain collaboration. So we welcome scientists with a previous background in these areas, but also those who are newly applying whatever their expertise is to the basic science study and these missions. Folks can apply to SFARI or to Aging Brain or both. And you just want to make sure that you are tailoring your applications to the programs that you're applying to. They would be separate applications. And we really encourage you to go on our website, look at the SFARI mission, look at their SFARI scientific perspectives. Same with the Aging Brain mission. And you can also find the research that we've funded through these programs online, so you can see some examples of the kind of science that we're interested in. For this application cycle, we are introducing something new. So that is, we're kind of identifying tracks within the fellows to faculty community. These tracks help us ensure that our scientific community is enriched with expertise and perspectives that will help enhance the pursuit of science in these areas. So all applicants will be considered for the general track for SFARI or Aging Brain, whichever one they're actually applying to. And in addition to that, you can select whether you'd like to be considered for either of these new tracks, the computational scientist track and clinical scientist track. And those are tracks within the mission areas. So to clarify, the computational scientist track, for that, we're looking for senior postdocs who have strong computational or theoretical backgrounds, who aim to bring their approaches to work on key questions related to SFARI or SCPAB. For the clinical scientist track, we're looking for applicants with clinical doctoral degrees, so that could be MD, PhD, or equivalent doctoral degree in a clinical discipline. And we're looking that those folks are pursuing independent research careers with a basic science focus, and that focus aligns with our interest areas here in SFARI or Aging Brain. And again, this can be in human or model systems. I think really what we're trying to emphasize is we're looking for folks with research plans, research visions for the future that are relevant to the mission areas and that are studying those basic science areas, the looking at the underlying mechanisms of biology, disease behaviors. And you definitely want to look at the request for applications for full details about the program. Just to clarify what the award comes with, really the central focus is the faculty grant. So this is a faculty research award over 3 years, $200,000 per year, and it's intended to supplement a full institution provided startup package. And you can use this award for all reasonable costs related to the scientific proposal that you give us. The other funding component is an optional postdoctoral award, and you can use that for between 0 and 2 years. This comes with an annual stipend of $85,000 US, $10,000 career development allowance, and a $15,000 health insurance and other benefits allowance. And again, see the RFA for details. Something I want to clarify is that you are not required to use that postdoctoral award. So if you have postdoctoral funding, you can still apply to this program. Or if you immediately, upon getting the award, the next day you sign a faculty job offer and transition to the faculty position within a few months, that is fine with us. Again, it's an optional postdoctoral award, and just the maximum that you could use that for is 2 years. So the other benefits of this program are that we kind of bring you into this community of investigators of all the grantees that we fund. There are in-person investigator meetings, in-person fellows retreats, so that you can see and talk with folks in the other discipline areas. The award also comes with career mentorship and peer support, all moving through this career stage together. So these resources, we think, enable you to confidently negotiate a supportive faculty job offer and build your independent lab and really pursue your research interest areas. The request for applications is intended for PhD and or MD holding scientists or equivalent doctoral degrees who are currently in mentored training positions and really seeking that tenure track faculty position in the upcoming job cycle. So in terms of eligibility, you have to hold one of those degrees, and you must be in a non-independent mentored research training position in somebody else's lab. For example, this could be a postdoc position. This could also be a physician scientist in a research fellowship type of position. Applicants may not accept a formal faculty job offer before being notified of the award. And also, you may not hold other career development awards that facilitate this transition to an independent research career. I want to clarify, there are no citizenship requirements. That is a question we get asked often. And that really these awards can be activated within or outside of the US. So I want to clarify that. And you can see a lot of other frequently asked questions on that request for applications website. I want to give you an idea of the timeline for transition to a faculty position. This is what we envision for our awardees. We expect the fellows to apply to tenure track or equivalent positions in September 2026 and begin their new faculty position by the end of the 2027-2028 academic year. So you can see that fellows may engage in one job cycle during the time that they are an awardee, or two. So keep that in mind, but we're really looking for folks who are poised at this time, right now, to begin that tenure track faculty position. And that could be evidenced by your scientific contributions, by your scientific research vision. One of the most common reasons that applicants do not advance in review is that they haven't demonstrated their immediate readiness for a faculty position or for the faculty job market. So it's important that you don't apply too early to the program or too early in your postdoctoral career, because we do have this resubmission policy that really allows only for a maximum of applying to the program for 2 years or 2 application cycles. So I want to clarify, you can apply to more than one science area each year, but you just at a maximum can only apply to the program itself 2 years. And those don't have to be consecutive years. And I do want to state this policy applies to our predecessor programs that were the Independence Awards as well. So when deciding to apply, we really want you to consider this transition timeline and expectation and the resubmission policy, and think about your readiness and competitiveness for the job market. So for the application itself, the scope of the application should be similar to that of a faculty job application, including specific research directions for your future lab, relevance to the scientific mission area that you're applying to, and demonstrated preparedness for launching an independent laboratory at this time. And that can be evidenced, again, by your scientific contributions and scientific research vision. The full scope of your lab might be broader than the SFARI or the SCPAB mission areas. Importantly, we want to clearly understand how your research vision advances those mission areas. And we really recommend you focus your application on the part of your future research vision that relates to the basic science missions that we have here for SFARI and SCPAB. We want to make sure that applicants are really focusing their proposal on their plans for their future lab, because that is what we emphasize in this award. We do not want applicants to give us just a 3-year project proposal for the first years of the faculty position. No, we want to see the big future lab vision. We also do not want to see the postdoctoral research aims or training goals, because again, we focus our review on what your scientific vision is for your future lab. As a reminder, folks can submit applications to SFARI, Aging Brain, or both if they wish to. And if you're submitting to both areas, you just have to submit 2 separate applications and tailor it to the respective science area. So on the RFA website, you can find links to read more about the SFARI mission or the Aging Brain mission, and you can see exactly how to apply and some frequently asked questions. One of the biggest tips that I could offer is that if you are unsure if your research fits within the goals of this award, please contact our scientific team. You can send them a 3 to 5 sentence description of your research vision for your future lab and how it fits within the basic science area you're applying to. And that is a quick way for getting in contact and having a better grasp of what we're looking for and what these programs fund. So I listed their contact information here. And I really encourage everyone to submit your exciting ideas and proposals. It is so exciting for us to gather a review panel to read all of these proposals and see the exciting science that could be funded and that we could support. So we're really looking forward to seeing your applications. Thank you so much for joining this webinar, and have a good day.